Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Jamie Hughes Show. My name as always is Jamie Hughes and today I'm going to be talking to you about It Chapter 2. But before we jump into it, if you want to keep up to date with all my latest movie news and reviews, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. So It Chapter 2 has been announced that it's going to be released in September 2019, and as we know from It Chapter 1, the prophecy states that it returns to Derry every 27 years, which meant that the Losers Club made a pact that if it ever returns to Derry, then they are going to return to Derry and they're going to fight and kill it once again. So in this video today, I'm going to be running down my predictions for who I should think would play an adult version of the Loser Club, if that is what's going to happen, and they are going to set this in almost present day. I think it's, with the timelines, if they match up, it's around 2016, 2015 that this movie is going to take place. So these are my predictions for who I should think should play the adult Loser Club. As I say, they're just predictions, but if you guys have predictions on who you would like to see play the adult Loser Club, then let me know down in the comments below, and let's jump into it. So first up, we have the leader of the Losers Club, and that is Bill Denborough. He's played by Jaden Liebhart in the first It movie, and I think for It Chapter 2, it should be Chris Evans or Jake Gyllenhaal. I think they both got a great look. They're both strong leading men, and yeah, I'm leaning a little bit more towards Chris Evans. I think he has that innocent look about him, especially if you go back to Captain America before he became hench. You know, you give him a little bit of a quiff, and I think he could very well pull off being Bill in the future. Yeah, I think it'd be quite nice to see him playing a kind of different role to what we've seen him in. Obviously, you do have that risk of whether he can pull it off, but I think he's more than capable. And yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal as well. I think, you know, he has played in dark films before. Obviously Donnie Darko, it was his breakout, so it'd be quite a nice little tie-in to see maybe him return to a horror franchise within a sense. And yeah, I think they'd be great bills and great leaders of the Loser Club. Next up, we have Stan Uris, who's played by Wyatt Oleff in the first It movie, and for this pick, I'm keeping it in the family. I've gone for Alexander Skarsgård. Obviously, he's the brother of Bill Skarsgård. I think he's got a really great look, and I think tying those two in together into the movie could be quite cool. I don't know, maybe it might be, it might not be, but yeah, I think he's got a really great look about him. He may be just a little bit old when this movie comes out to get away with playing Stanley, but he's got that kind of a little bit of a weathered look, and I think that's what, you know, Stanley, he kind of went through a lot of stuff in the first It movie. He had his face sucked off by that weird nun, so I think you need somebody a little bit more gristled and a bit more worn to play Stanley in the sequel. So yeah, I'm gonna go for Alexander Skarsgård. Next, we have Ben Haskell, who was played by Jeremy Taylor. And there was only one person that sprung to mind when I was thinking about who could play him in this movie, and I've gone for James Corden. I think they do have a very striking similarity. If you go back and find things online of James Corden as a child actor, he looks very much like Jeremy Taylor. So yeah, pretty self-explanatory this one. I'm going for James Corden. Could he pull off a serious dark role? We'd have to wait and see, but I think his childlike innocence could make for some pretty compelling viewing in It Chapter 2. Next, we have Beverly Marsh. She is played by Sophie Lillis in the first one, and I think you already know who I'm going to pick for this one. It's been touted about everywhere, and that is obviously Amy Adams. The comparisons are uncanny, and yeah, pretty simple. She is like the spitting image of what Beverly Marsh should look like. So next up, we have Richie Tozier, who's played by Finn Wolfhard in It Chapter 1. And for It Chapter 2, I'm going to go for Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I think this is like the best casting, the best fantasy casting I picked. I think he fits the role perfectly. He can play a lot of different characters, and he can blend between genres quite nicely. Next up, we have Eddie, and he was played by Jack Grazer in the first movie, and I'm going to go for John Krasinski. I think there's a little bit of a likeness here. And again, I think that it fits really well with the Eddie character. I think John Krasinski can play that kind of hypochondriac, over the top sort of character, because we've never seen it from him before really, but I think he could really bring something different to the character, and it'd be quite cool to see. I'm a big fan of John Krasinski because I'm working my way through The Office at the minute, so that's kind of why I've put him in here. But I think he'd be a great, you know, he would be a great addition to the It cast. And last up, Mike, who's played by Chosen Jacobs in the first movie. I have gone for Chadwick Boseman. He'll be on the ride of his life in 2019 or 2018 when this movie starts shooting, after hopefully the success of Black Panther. So I think he'd be a really good addition to this It cast. He looks, I've not seen much of him before, but he really looks like he could pull off this role well. And finally, I may as well stick it in there, I want Bill Skarsgård to remain as It. I think he was brilliant in the first movie, and I can't wait to see what else he's going to bring to the franchise in the sequel. So those are my picks for who I think should play at the Losers Club in It Chapter 2, which is obviously being released in 2019. Let me know if you disagree or agree with them. Let me know your picks down in the comments below. If you did enjoy this video, then why not subscribe to keep up to date with all the latest movie news and reviews. Now also, if you enjoyed this video, then as always, hit that like button. Thank you very much for watching this episode of The Jamie Hughes Show. My name as always has been Jamie Hughes. I will see you in the next one. Ta-ra.